Hello everyone, welcome to Jargus Ranger Review. This week we'll be looking at the 10th episode of Super Megaforce, The Perfect Storm. Now this is a more unique episode, it changes things up a lot. Because for starters, we start out back with the Armada and Vector are trying to use an electrical storm in order to track down some kind of power crystal that Rock left behind. Yeah, that's right, we're finally referencing the previous season again. But still no mention of Robo Knights since like the second episode. But during this big storm, Tensu goes out to check the communications from the command center. Gosei says for him to stay inside, but he says, "Okie dokie, I'll be right back." Because Tensu's an even bigger kid than Alpha was, come on. He ain't gonna listen to that. And of course the little robot gets electrocuted and has his memory messed up. So he just wanders off, which prompts Gosei to call the Rangers to look for him while they are at Ernie's. And if that's not a big enough issue, the storm took out our Ernie's Frogurt machine, so he calls and have it repaired. And surprisingly enough, that is actually very important. So Tensu is just rolling around the streets, no one really noticing him. He thinks a fire hydrant is a person, but it doesn't talk to him, so he keeps rolling around. The Rangers are running around looking for him, but he has no clue who he is. Until he's spotted looking at a mirror, and he's having a lot of fun admiring his appearance when the Rangers almost get him, but there's a guy nearby who has a silver suitcase, rolling suitcase that looks very similar to Tensu. And if you couldn't guess it, he gets taken instead onto a bus. And the guy that took Tensu has a jacket or a trench coat on top of him, so no one can see it. His robot face. And he thinks he's captured and should just stay quiet for a while. But the Rangers are communicating back and forth, and Jake just sprints and runs after the bus. He runs crazy fast after him. And that's actually a really impressive scene, because he's a lot less of a clown than he looks like, or acts like. He gets on the bus and tries to get Tensu from the guy, but he gets distracted by an old woman on the bus who starts telling her life story. And so he misses the stop when the guy gets off the bus. But while they're trying to find him, the other Rangers talk about opening his suitcase and seeing what's inside. Maybe find out who this person is to get it back to him. But they decide not to do it because they're some good kids, not invading someone's privacy. And before they can discuss it anymore, they hear that Tensu is at the mall. This guy is driving him through there for some reason. So between Jake and Gia, they decide to switch Tensu and the suitcase. And this guy carrying it, he has he's wearing a suit that's a bit large, has this intimidating look to him. The way he talks is pretty damn serious too. Make it sound like he might not be as good as he looks. So they vaguely make it sound like he may not be as good-hearted as the Rangers or whatever he's doing. So Jake approaches him and asks him what time it is, while Gia switches him out. But then he says, "By the way, you're wearing a watch." And that got awkward as Jake went away. Fortunately, they all got Tensu back, and he never knew there was a difference. So they introduce themselves as his friends, even though they don't know who they are. Well, Tensu doesn't know who they are. They know who they are. Jumped up my words there. So to hide Tensu as they get back to the command center, they put him in a baby stroller, so to hide him. And he sees another baby walking by in the mall, and he thinks, "Oh, you're in the same boat as me, aren't you?" Well, push on, my friends. I think I like Tensu better like this. But they cannot take him back right away because Orion and Noah are fighting our Monster of the Week, and I didn't catch his name this time. But he runs off when he knows that he had a black little rock with him. But our monster does let it loose where he's going to. Some sort of mountain. And a good thing is that they go straight to the Super Megaforce forums right away. I know I mentioned this a lot, but there's no need for the old Megaforce suits. But they keep forgetting that almost every other episode. And the two fight him with our Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. Now I knew that's no accident. And Dino Thunder Blue. So they find him about to gain power from this mountain. It turns out there's some sort of statue there that was Brock's power thing. But they don't know what it was going to be used for. And Tensu, trying to hide, runs into a tree. So the robot finally reboots and he remembers who he is. And in the battle, Orion becomes the white Mighty Morphin Ranger, because that is just cool. And finally, to finish the monster off, they use the Zeo Ranger's power. But actually, he's absorbed a lot of energy from that crystal somehow. They defeat him pretty quickly with the Q-Rex and the Samurai Megazord. By quickly, one hit, the fight barely lasts. But he tells them to look up as he dies and explodes. Because it turns out he's having a big asteroid come and hit the Earth and wipe out all life on it. That was the plan all along. And Legendary Megazord won't work at all. So Orion gets a bright idea of having them being thrown straight at it from the Megazord. And he uses his Q-Rex to use his triple attack drills to destroy it into pieces. Now that's a pretty unique way of destroying an asteroid. Much better than in space where you just had 3 Megazords push it away. This is a lot more impressive. So they finally get Tensu back to the command center. But he has himself a new toy, a mirror that he can have fun looking at himself in. All is well and good, so they go to Ernie's, like they always do, and his machine is repaired. And walking out from behind is our guy with the suitcase. Turns out he was the repairman the whole time. Yeah, you see? That machine broking actually had something to do with the plot. The Ranger's like, fuck, that was the whole guy the whole time? Yeah, then they laugh and it ends. Now that was a really good twist at the end. Overall, this was a really fun episode. I mean, the first half was like pretty tense and serious. Well, not serious, just pretty tense. And it was fun with Tensu as well. It made you really wonder what that guy was. They never said what he was doing, except his demeanor implied that he wasn't a nice guy. I mean, he said to Ernie as he left, you might want to keep eyes on those kids. They look kinda suspicious. But really, you were going straight to Ernie's to do a job. Why did you stop to take a tour in the mall? You had no reason to. Ah well, it helped dramatic tension. Because really, the search for Tensu was the highlight of the episode. I mean, less than half of it was spent before a monster battle, which is rare for the new Megaforce series. And it was a welcome change too, because it was more about the characters going about the business trying to do something than just fighting a battle with some banter in between. So this is definitely higher up there of this season already. I think I'm going to start putting more references to past Rangers now, as well as the first season since they're talking about Brock again. So hopefully we'll see something with Robo Knight, because he is still missing. And with the season half over, we better get something happening soon, because there's a lot more to do with over 20 years of Rangers now. Overall, I definitely recommend this episode. It's a lot of fun and it's easy to pick up on. Well, that's it for this time. I'm Jargus and thanks for watching. And until next time, let the power protect you. See you, everybody.